Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Unbettable. I am Mondo here today with Holmes and Gary. On today's episode, we got a hell of a lot to talk about, but first, let me take you through this weekend's quick cap. First, to start it off, Mr. Nurkic, Yusuf Nurkic, 31 rebounds, most in an NBA game since 2010, but that is not the biggest news coming out of the NBA. Mr. LeBron James, the king himself, scores 40,000 fucking points. He is literally averaging a triple double for his career. The man is quite literally perhaps the GOAT. We don't know yet. We also have a lot of NFL news. We'll get to the main stories later, but we got a new NFL combine record 4.21 40-yard dash by Xavier Worthy. We also got the Dolphins not franchise tagging Christian Wilkins. We have some very unfortunate news out of ESPN. Chris Mortensen passed away. Hell of a broadcaster, or not really a broadcaster, kind of a news chaser. Rest in peace, sir. You will be missed. Absolute legend. And on top of all of that, gentlemen, your boy went to the Cognizant Classic and turned the fuck up because that's what I do. We had a hell of a time. But before I get into that, gentlemen, how the fuck was your weekend?
Couldn't have been better, brother. We bet on so much college baseball. We had a great weekend. We're going to go right back into it this weekend. Combine was pretty fun. I was watching that a little bit here and there. Man, I mean, that was exciting. There were some players putting up some crazy numbers in that combine. There's some interesting stuff to be able to watch. And quite notably, some of the biggest quarterbacks didn't even participate in the combine. They're going to save all their shit for pro day. So maybe we'll get into that a little bit. But man, great weekend. Let's get into this great ass week too.
Mr.
Boy,
Gary Gowdy, the face in space. What's going on, brother?
I am chilling, bro. I had a beautiful weekend, dude. I went home on Friday, back to my lovely little town of Champions Gate, Florida. Got to see my uncle and my grandma. We went to the Grant Seafood Festival on Saturday. Shout out Grant, Florida. Cool little place just south of Melbourne. Melbourne, I said, why I say it like that? Melbourne. Yeah, and then yesterday had to come back to Gainesville, go to work. But today, bro, was like, I think one of the best days of my entire year. I just spent I've been outside the whole day, just chilling, just sitting outside and, hanging out with the boys, clean the house, clean my room, clean my car. I had a really good day. It was a good mental health day for Gary.
A general get your head out of your ass kind of day. I like those. Those are crucial from time to time, man. Especially when you
Yes.
got a lot of stress going on, you gotta figure it out. But while you were doing all that, your boy was at the Cognizant Classic, formerly the Honda Classic. I got to see Rory. I got to see Ricky, Shane Lowry, Matt Fitzpatrick, you named it. I was talking to them. They were fucking awesome. But that's not the best part. Your boy turned the fuck up this weekend. We got shit faced in the bear trap with the co-workers. We bought 3 rounds of shots. That shit wasn't cheap. But you know what? We had fun. No thanks to the fucking PGA Tour, though. I never realized how fucking boring a golf event was until I got there. Unless
Like,
you're
gotta
getting
drink.
shit faced in the party section, everyone has to be silent. It's boring as hell. I can't think of a worse sport to actually participate in all the time. Like there's no music, there's no fun allowed. You're super serious. You can't have the crowd backing you. It's just such a terrible fucking way to play.
You
And I think the
sound
live
like a
tour,
live golf dick rider.
yeah, and you know
Like a
what?
live.
I am because at least you get to have fun on the live tour. I'm all about this Saudi league now after watching these guys shush us. Some guy was cheering for, I think it was like some up and comer cheering for him when he's about to swing. The guy freaks the fuck out because there's noise. Gary, if that's what the PGA Tour is about, I cannot watch them.
Are you talking
I
about
cannot, like, it is fucking terrible.
Are you talking about the guys that hold like the things and then when they hit, they go like this? Like that's the guy that freaked
No,
out?
I'm talking about a golfer backing off the hole because he heard a noise.
Oh, the golfer himself tweaked out.
If the PGA Tour can't start playing music, they are done for. I understand why Live Golf was created now. I get it. People want to have fucking fun.
But
Shocker.
The thing is with the PGAs, you got to think that it's much more crucial for you to finish at a top spot than it would be if you're in Live Golf, because Live Golf, you're guaranteed all this money already, but in the PGA, like you really got to bust your ass to really make bank. So,
Good
Yeah,
point.
and you know what that sounds like? I mean, you're busting your ass in a shitty 9 to 5, hating your life because you can't have any fun while playing the golf.
no, I just think it's way more competitive than Live Golf, so that's why it's much more like classic golf, you feel me?
Yeah, I mean, the fucking accounting industry is competitive too. It's probably the same level as fun as the PGA Tour. The only good part is getting drunk in the fucking air, like the different areas.
I think
I
it's
mean,
fun
I
in
don't
that.
know if you've been to an event lately, but it's pure silence unless you're at the party deck.
Well, I
And
mean,
even then, there's no music. You have to create all the fun. Like events like this, you should be bringing the vibes.
well, like I went to
It-
I go to Bay Hill like every other year, and like yeah, it's quiet, but I think it's just fun to like walk around and like just be outside and like I don't know, it's just it's a different kind of entertainment. You feel me? Like if you're at a beautiful course, you're gonna be like observing the course while also like watching the players and like thinking about some of like the historic shit that I mean, especially at the Honda Classic that has happened. So like I don't know. It's just different levels of entertainment compared to PGA and Live, but I
yeah,
think
but
they
it's
both
like
serve their purpose.
the Honda Classic's supposed to be one step down from the waste management. I am supposed to be there. We just lost Holmes. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but I'm supposed to be there getting 12 drinks deep, having fun, having a great time. That's the whole motto. I'm not there to observe the fucking course. Who gives a shit about the course? All courses in Florida are fucking nice. Like, where's the fun in golf these days? Like, I would have to bring a speaker with me from hole to hole because I couldn't just fucking sit there and watch that shit happen. It's just crazy. Holmes, are you alive? What happened?
I don't know what the hell just happened. I got booted, bro. Just out of nowhere. I didn't even
I
say I got
thought,
slow internet connection or nothing. I just
honestly, I thought it was because of Gary's point about, you got to want to observe the course while you're fucking there. Like, bro, you can observe these fucking nuts. I'm not there to observe the course. I'm there to observe my 18 drinks, have a good time, enjoy myself, and just live it the fuck up.
yeah.
That's what I'm there for. Observe the course. The fuck would I want to do that for, bro? Like, that's just crazy to me.
Well, like think about it, right? Like if you are a first timer at Augusta National and you're like, wow, this place is fucking gorgeous. Like the course really has like its like story and history and richness from the way the holes are named based off of how they look. So it's like, I mean, it's important. Like, bro, like think about waste management. Hole 17 or hole 7 or whatever it is, the par 3.
You
Everybody
don't
wants,
even remember it because it's not that fucking memorable. What's
yes, it
memorable
is.
is getting
That
fucked
par
up with the
3,
squad at the
that
golf
par
event.
3 is probably in the top 3 most like,
You couldn't even name which hole it was. I thought you observed the course.
bro, it's at the waste management. It's in fucking TPC Scottsdale. I know where it is. But they
Yeah,
set it
I
up.
mean, you didn't observe the course close enough,
They set
Gary.
it up. They put the stadium around it. It gets a crowd, and then it's like really super tight, and then everybody's like, "Oh, like it's
Yeah,
just
but you know what makes that hole fun? They don't tell the crowd to be quiet. That's really the only hole in golf that you don't have to be quiet at. The only one. That's terrible. As a like, I completely get why Live has started. Just going to that event. Not saying I didn't have fun. I had fun, but I needed hella drinks to do it. And God forbid you make the party deck closer to the fucking entrance, so I'm not stumbling 2 miles trying to find the exit. That's a whole nother problem
it's a
there.
fucking golf course, Mondo. Like what?
Yeah, but if I'm smart and I want to be this like super professional thing, I would want, like the party deck close to the entrance so that all these players don't have to constantly see, this blacked out guy trip and fall on his face as they're trying to whack a 7-iron.
But that kind
Like
of contradicts
that's crazy.
your whole point about they shouldn't be silent at the games and stuff. Because then you just said, oh, what if he gets distracted by some blackout dude like
Well,
stumbling?
I know they would. That's why I'm saying either move it or let us have some fucking fun.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying, bro. The PGA Tour needs to I don't know what they need to do, but they need to let loose a little bit. Give these rule makers some shots or some shit. Let them fucking go wild and have some fun. Because it like, unless you were in the party area, brother, you were falling asleep. It was terrible. Terrible.
I think Hart's frozen again.
I'm sure he is. Oh, he's
Parts
back.
what?
Huh?
Was I frozen again? Was I
Yeah.
frozen again?
No, you're good now.
Yeah, you were. But aside from all of that, what this weekend kind of reminded me is that, brother, I need to throw a fucking rager soon. I have so much pent up like party energy that I need to just let loose. And I don't know how or when or where, but your boy needs to turn the fuck up at like a house party or something.
Next week,
Because
spring break.
I'm slowly becoming old and I don't like it.
Welcome to the club, brother.
We got spring
Does
break
suck.
next week.
Okay.
I've got, bro, the crib that I'm going to is dope. It's like it's like where I went kind of for the seafood festival thing in Grant, but I gotta take a ferry to get to the island because the Airbnb is on an island with like 4 other houses. But
Who
like
are you there with?
like my like close friends, but like
Oh,
I
that's cool.
I
Homes, you
just
see
I'm kind
that?
of concerned though because I was thinking about this like type shit like what if like you get fucked up and like you need like medical assistance, but you're on the island, but it's like 2 a.m. Like, do they have like a hospital or like what do you do?
Hey, bro, that's that anxiety talking to you. Just have fun and cross that bridge when you get there.
I'm just saying, like the people that live there, like I don't know, bro, like that. I don't know if I'd want to live in a place like that where I gotta take a boat to get to my house.
You wouldn't be down on the bayou in Louisiana?
No, why the fuck would I live there? Ow, shit.
I don't know. You give
Mardi
that
Gras.
energy. you give that energy, Gary.
Yeah, that'd be a cool place to hang out.
Oh yeah. Uh, I would be remiss if I didn't say we had huge NFL news today,
You
right?
didn't even say who won the Cognizant Classic.
Brother, I don't remember. Like it's like Earhart. I think he's like related to the pilot Amelia Earhart.
His
I
name is
don't fucking know.
Austin Eckroat.
Oh yeah,
Shout
him.
out
He
Austin
he
Eckroat.
won. Nobody picked him. He screwed over everything. Congratulations to you, man. You won. You fucking won. Anyway,
I don't even know if that man's ranked.
I don't even know who the hell he is. Straight up.
No idea.
We
No
had
idea.
massive NFL news today. Obviously, you see the Mike Evans signings and stuff like that, which we'll get to. I don't think there was anything more emotional or important as the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Jason Kelsey, calling it a career today. That man cried so fucking much today. I could not believe it. He could have flooded the entire continent of Africa. It was crazy. He was in tears, and I was like, damn, even as like a Dolphins fan, not really an Eagles guy, that shit kind of hit, bro. Like he gave like a 40-minute speech. I was like, all right, like let's calm it down there. But like I get what you're trying to say. He went through it all the way. Like, I don't know if you guys watch. I'm curious to hear like what you thought about it, but that shit was wild. Congratulations. Other than that, like let's shorten retirement speeches just a tad.
I
Yeah, I
mean,
mean, I only watch. Go ahead, Gary. Go ahead.
nope.
You want me to get it? All right, Garrett. Well, I only watched like bits and pieces of it, but I mean, it was pretty emotional. Like you can tell, this is a guy that just loves football to his core. He is an absolute football guy through and through. He did not take this decision lightly. He's been grinding on this team for such a long time. He's a 7-time Pro Bowler. He's a 6-time All Pro. He's won a Super Bowl. I mean, he's gotten a ton of accolades as a great center for the Philadelphia Eagles. But I mean, that's got to be one of the hardest things to have to do, to step away from the game that you love and have been grown up playing for your entire life, and to be as decorated as you are as such a fantastic center in the league. I mean, you just got to give the guy props on a great career, on just being such a great guy through his career as well. Never goes through any turmoil or, controversy or anything like that. Anything that anybody has to say about Jason Kelsey is positive, and that's the way you want to go out in your career, man. So props to him. He had an absolutely fantastic career. Just happy he gets to retire, kick back, do what he wants to do now, and hopefully watch his brother ball out for a couple more years.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. I feel like the most controversy he's had was this year surrounding the whole Taylor Swift, and I mean that's not really a controversy, but you know what I'm saying. People are talking about it, but I think that this was time, and I think this is a good time for him to get out. Because you know God only knows what the Eagles are gonna do next year. They're either gonna crash and burn, or they're gonna fly Eagles fly. I feel like this is only appropriate because shout out Jason Kelsey, he was a bird. Give a little little bird call, send him off into Valhalla. He will be a Hall of Famer though. I'm just gonna make that call right now.
Gary, good job, brother. I'm glad you pieced that one together. Guy's arguably like the greatest center ever. I would hope he makes the Hall of Fame. So that's make sure Gary's a Hall of Fame voter for years to come.
Well, no, I'm saying like that's the last accolade he really needs to be, you know, one of the
Yes,
greatest to ever
Gary.
do it.
He's going to Canton. I can promise you that. 6-time All Pro, 13-year starter. The guy's great. Come on, I'm trying to light a fire up under your ass today. Quick. I'm Gary. I didn't prepare before this.
I did. I
I
read.
think he might go to Canton.
I
Come
said
on,
I
Gary.
said I
Get
think he
with it.
should. He should. Not. I don't. Man, fuck this shit. I don't care anymore, bro.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear. You know what? Here's one you'll care about. So you better come swinging on this one with a big fat cock. Ready? Here we go. The Bucks re-sign Mike Evans. Gary, take it away. You better have some shit for this.
2-year, $54 million deal. Man is still underpaid. He deserves $1 billion for what he has done for the Bucks franchise. But I'm excited that he's coming back because hopefully that means a lot of other people are coming back. I mean, Baker, that's a lock, but it's good to see at least another piece of the puzzle is there. Because, you know, just last week we were talking about places that we could potentially see Mike Evans playing at. And of course, the Buccaneers in Tampa, that was number one. But like we had our speculations that what if, and I'm glad we didn't have to go down that road. I actually, this is kind of off topic, but I just watched Rocky for the first time last week. I've never seen Rocky before, and
Wow.
I didn't know Rocky was portrayed as like this, like, you know, early hominid, the way he speaks and kind of walks and everything. And I'm pretty sure he has like schizophrenia. But that's enough about me looking too deep into Rocky. But the reason I brought up Rocky is because today I posted on my story about Mike Evans and I put the Rocky song in it.
Okay, Gary.
That's awesome.
Thanks for that, Gary.
Yeah.
You know what? I got a new segment idea, Holmes, and I let me know what you think about this, and we'll kind of implement it. I think we got to have Gary do like a movie report, like once a week, just a new movie he hasn't seen. He's
That'd be
got to
good.
give his analysis on it, like the Rocky one he just gave, and break it down for us and for all the viewers. I think that might be interesting to a lot
I
of
will
people.
happily do that. I will happily do that.
There we go. I
All
mean, he's
right.
already down. Let's do it.
Now I think you and I have to be the ones to pick the movie.
Yeah.
Bruh.
Yeah.
So that's what I think. So
As long as
let's
it's a good movie. I don't want to watch like bad movies. Like like think of old movies that like I most likely haven't seen because I just said I saw Rocky for the first time last week. So, that kind of puts me in a sphere for what I have and haven't seen. If you tell me to watch a horror movie, I've most likely seen it because I love horror movies, but like OG hood classic movies that like stamped their like name in the cinema timeline, like I most likely haven't seen it.
Let's stick with our sports movies for now. Just we'll intro it that way, and then we can expand. Holmes, how about this? I was thinking A League of Their Own.
It's great.
Just
Great movie.
the pure content I feel like we could get out of Gary's breakdown for this would be
Yeah.
What's
incredible.
it called?
Yeah.
League of Their Own?
Yeah,
Dude, fantastic
great
movie.
movie.
Oh my
But I
God.
want, like, when you give this report, I don't want like a book report you present in class. I want like the Gary spin
Like
with
I just
like
did with
all the
Rocky.
bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, exactly
Yeah.
like that.
All right. I got it.
That you like that idea, Gary?
Yeah, I'll watch it tonight while I'm editing and we'll have the report ready by next episode.
I
You'll
love
love
it.
that shit.
I love it. And
I love that
we
shit.
make you movie literate now. Like that's huge. All right, Holmes. Now that we got this whole Rocky saga out of the way, what was your takeaway on Mike Evans?
Dude, pure joy. I could not have been happier to wake up and see that notification this morning. We talked about it on the last podcast. You asked us, where do you think Mike Evans is going? Where do you want him to go in free agency? And I said bluntly, man, I would just want him to stay a Buck. I want this man to retire a Buck. That's all I have wanted ever since we drafted him. I've been very, very, very excited to have him in Tampa Bay. And I mean, he has proven me right for all of the right reasons. He has been such a dominant force in the wide receiver game and very underrated across the league for years. To have the stretch of consecutive 1,000-yard seasons that he's had since he's been in the league is absolutely legendary. I mean, this is just a guy that I've seen as a quintessential Tampa Bay Buccaneer, and I couldn't see him in any other uniform. This was so big to be able to get him back. And I think a little bit along the lines of what Gary said, I think this does set up the domino to fall for Baker to be coming back. I do not think Mike would have been this quick to sign an extension had he not talked with Jason Light, maybe Todd Bowles, and asked, hey, what are the chances that Baker Mayfield is coming back? And obviously they must have given him a very good inclination that they plan on trying to keep Baker Mayfield around, whether that's for the 2 years that Mike signed for, 3, 4, 5 extended beyond that. But I think that was a big domino to fall with this contract extension because Mike has said it before. He really does like Baker. He loves his leadership. He loves his attitude. Um, I just think he's going to be a pretty good piece for the Bucks moving forward. I don't think he was a guy that came in and did anything for us that we expected. He was a lot better than I expected him to be. Honestly, like I didn't coming into this team. What did you think Baker was going to be? I didn't think he was going to lead us to the playoffs. No cap. As shitty as our division was, man, I have not had faith in Baker just bouncing around from team to team to coach to coordinator to coordinator. Guys just never had really like a solid game plan in front of him to be able to play. But I think this now gives him that opportunity to run it back with the same guys, especially a top tier wide receiver in Mike Evans. So, man, I couldn't be happier that he is staying with the Bucks. This is just fantastic news. Seriously, couldn't be happier about it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
really thought we were gonna be another victim with Baker. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up because, like, whenever I saw Baker first take the field, like, I bought a fucking Trask jersey. That's how, faithful I was in Baker doing anything in Tampa Bay. But, I think he's proved it not only to himself, but especially to his team. If Mike Evans has enough faith to come back and run it back, then like he's kind of instilled something into his NFL team that he probably hasn't had the feeling of since his collegiate days. So I'm interested to see when for a second, when they run it back for a second year.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like I'm not surprised by this at all. I mean, let's be real. Mike Evans was never going to put on another jersey. As far as the Baker thing, Baker just needed love. So he needed someone to rub his belly, scratch him behind the ear, whatever the fuck you want to say. Baker just needed some love and some confidence from the organization. And once he got that here, I mean, the results speak for themselves. You know what I mean? Like, and you know, you can kind of see the divide between him versus someone like Russell Wilson, who wasn't backed at all by the Broncos, right? I mean, they just kind of let him out to dry. He didn't really have any weapons. And now the motherfucker got released today. So it's like, you know, you see both sides of the coin. It's not really ideal for anybody. Russ did have a great rebound season this year. He's obviously not MVP Russ, but you know, he's still a top quarterback in the league and should be on a team. What's so funny, Gary?
I just thought of this meme in my head, like imagine like just like you know the scene like please sir may I have another?
Yeah.
Like they should put like the Bronco head on like the guy with the paddle and then Russell Wilson's face on like the guy that's getting his ass whooped. I don't know why I thought of that, but I thought it would be funny.
Well, I want to touch on the Russell Wilson thing a little bit before we go forward because this was just like a real shit situation, I think, for him in these past 2 years because I think that the him going away from Seattle was crazy enough, as it were, to be able to go to the Broncos and kind of start something new and fresh after he's been with Seattle for so long. But after three different coaches over 2 seasons, two losing seasons, not really having the weapons around him that he needed, I guess, to step up at times. I mean, like we've seen Jerry Judy just in the past couple of years not live up to expectation, especially coming out of college. Cortland Sutton, it's been really tough. He's shown flashes at times, but him along with a lot of other guys in that wide receiver room just weren't able to stay healthy. It was a really tough time, I think, for Russ Wilson to just be able to navigate that offense with what he was working with. And to be honest, I really did think that Sean Payton coming in this year was going to fix a lot of issues. And it seemed to be the exact opposite. It seemed like when Sean Payton came in, there was even more turmoil with the team in between Russ and the coach and even all the players that were on the team as well. It just seemed like a really, really weird situation now looking back on it these past 2 years. Like he could have thrived, but wasn't really put in a situation to thrive. And now who knows what the hell is going to be next. I mean, there's a ton of teams out there still searching for a quarterback. And I do not have any doubt that Russ can still play at not an elite level, but probably a decent level for a team that's doesn't have a great quarterback right now.
New
Do you guys
England
have any thoughts on
Patriots.
where Patriots? I was going to say, I mean, do you have any thoughts on where he might go? What's your reasoning behind the Patriots? You like that move there?
I think that they have a lot of bro, chill on me. I ain't even said shit yet. You already laughing, bro.
I
I
just
think
love when you get put on the spot.
no, like I'm ready for it, bro. Just let me talk.
All right, let's fucking hear it.
What I'm saying is at the quarterback position, I don't think there's a lot of elder leadership and somebody who can kind of instill a sort of wisdom effect onto the quarterback position. Like, even though Russ isn't necessarily the most athletic quarterback you could pick up at this time, he has literally been through it all. He's won a Super Bowl. He's had one of the worst records in the NFL. He's had one of the best records in the NFL. Like, he's been on every spectrum. And I also feel like, you know, with the departure of Belichick, you know, of course he was a wise, like, I'm not gonna say a wise guy because that sounds corny as fuck, but like, you know, he had a lot of wisdom about the game of football. So I feel like, you know, with that like big piece of the puzzle being taken away, I feel like they could potentially use somebody like Russ who has seen everything. I don't know. I don't know if they would like I feel like the Patriots should draft a quarterback, obviously, but like you know, make it a competition. Let's see if Russ really wants to return to what he used to be, or if this young guy wants to come and take this, you know, legend spot. So I feel like there's potential.
I see what you're saying. I think along the lines of the Patriots, but I think at the same time, I feel like him going to the Patriots kind of is like, I don't know, you're just transferring him to another team with zero weapons. You know, unless they're able to do something, build around him, draft around him, do something to be able to make that offense way better than what it has been in the past few years. I feel like he's almost being put into a worse situation with the New England offense than he was in with the Denver offense. But in terms of the stability, you should have a lot more stability with the coaching, with the organization, with how they run things. I mean, the Patriots have been one of the most stable organizations over the past couple decades, you could say. So I do like that stability factor for him and just being able to be in a place where maybe he can just be comfortable, instill his leadership, instill his wisdom. But man, you have to be able to do something to make that offense more dynamic. They have such a lack of pass catchers. I don't know what the running back situation is going to be. Are they going to stick with Ramondre Stevenson? Are they going to keep Ezekiel Elliott? Are they going to try and draft a running back, take a running back off free agency? There's a lot of questions to be had there, but I mean, I think that that is definitely a viable option there. Again, there's a ton of teams out there that could use a quarterback and an upgrade from what they do have now.
Yeah. Hold on. Currently dying. So I don't think the Patriots are the right team. Reason being, they have the opportunity to take a QB early in the draft this year, right? They're
Yep.
one of those top 3 picks. They're all set. They're all ready to go. I think you got to look at a team that's kind of outside that threshold that can't really get into that conversation. And that to me would be the Atlanta Falcons. They got all the young players, all these explosive weapons on offense. They got an up and coming defense. They're
Mm-hmm.
bringing in a new coach with a new scheme that's going to set them up for success.
Mm-hmm.
Russell Wilson is a veteran leader. We know that. He's a great leader, despite what everyone tries to claim against him. The guy knows how to lead a team.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if you get these guys in front of, the right guy like Russ, I think the Falcons can genuinely make a good run next year. That's like my team.
I think that's a great point because I've been seeing a ton of stuff about how active the Falcons have been in free agency, specifically targeting a quarterback. I mean, they've gone after Baker, they've gone after Kirk Cousins, and they've gone after Justin Fields, from what I know. And now today, with this breaking news, Russ Wilson is now on the market. So you'd be dumb to think that they're also not going to pursue that. I mean,
Right.
why wouldn't they? Again, like you said, they have the dynamic weapons there. But in the past couple of years, their quarterback play has been so subpar and their coaching has fixated so much on the run game down there that they haven't utilized the great pass catchers that they have, or even Bijan Robinson that much in the pass game, which is a fantastic weapon to be able to have. I mean, I think that is a pretty damn good scenario for him to be in.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, you could say that for, again, any of the quarterbacks that they have courted, with the exception of Baker Mayfield, because I want the Bucs to keep him. But I mean, Justin Fields, Kirk Cousins, Russ Wilson, I could see any 3 of those guys thriving in that system.
Yep.
But now that you have that extra option, like if you're the Falcons, go after it, man. Like what Russ might be desperate at this point. I don't know. We don't know how many teams are going to realistically court him. I know I said that there's a lot of teams that could use that quarterback help, but with as many quarterbacks that are going to be in the draft this year, how many of them are willing to take that risk on free agency and have to pay out a good amount of money, or they go the draft route, take somebody maybe in a later round, mid-round, and don't pay a lot of money to them and build the team around them. So you also kind of have to take in, I guess, that cap space factor into it. How much money are they going to have to pay Russ? And then how much money are they going to have left over to make sure they get it around to the rest of the team?
Yeah, I definitely think we're going to have to wait and see what happens there. But the QB market, I feel like we're in a place this year that we haven't really been before, or at least in a very long time. 3 top level QBs in the first couple picks. You got great weapons on the market. Like there are a lot of options heading into the offseason. And,
Yes.
teams with those fringe quarterbacks that may have a couple years left on their deal that, if they can't take you far enough into the playoffs, it's time to look the other way. Like there's too much talent on the free agent market to pass it up. And, at the end of the day, you can do what Alex Smith and Patrick Mahomes did. You can bring in a veteran leader, help coach up the rookie, and turn him into, a great QB. I'm not saying Patrick Mahomes level, but, you have that opportunity. So I think that there's a lot of options this year. Teams have got to take this one more serious than years past. We know QB is the most crucial position on any NFL team. and you have too much talent to waste this opportunity.
I
Mr.
will say,
Holmes.
before we get to the college baseball, I'm going to throw one more team out there that could be a viable option for Russ. And this could be a little tougher because they have a high pick in the draft. They might be going for a younger QB. What about the Las Vegas Raiders? Las
I
Vegas
like
Raiders
that.
got Devontae Adams. Josh Jacobs said he would like to stay on a maybe 1 year, 2 year deal with the Raiders. Those are two great pieces to have on that offense right now. They have been flustering at quarterback for a couple of years. I think that's not a bad scenario at all. I know it is in the same division, and maybe Russ doesn't want to stay in the same division. Maybe he wants to go somewhere else, try out something else, but who knows? Raiders could be a dark horse team there with a couple of the nice playmakers that they have on that offense, especially if they do re-sign Josh Jacobs, keep him along for the ride. Could be a team there, but in my opinion, I do think the Raiders will probably take the younger QB route, try to develop him, rebuild a little bit on that offensive side. But just throwing it out there, could happen.
Take it away.
All right, let's rock to college baseball. As we always do, we will start out with our Florida Gators. A 3-2 week this week, not the best week that the Gators have had. We'll start out with the midweek games that they had. Tough first game of the week against Stetson going to Stetson, a 7-4 loss. Not what you want to see against an inferior team when you're the Florida Gators. It was just a rough night for Luke McNeely. He is a freshman pitcher, and he got roughed up
Bro.
his first ever start. Yeah, Gary, we were talking about this during this game, man. He only went 0.2 innings, gave up 5 earned runs, hit 2 batters. I mean, he could not even get out of the first inning. He was struggling really, really hard. I just think guy might just need a little bit more development, and I think he was just thrust a little bit too soon into that starter role. It was a little bit, I think, shaken up for him. And he is a highly touted recruit out of high school. There's a lot of good things about this kid. He has great stuff on the mound. But man, he was just not looking good, especially against an inferior team, against these non-conference opponents. This is where you have to go out, show your stuff, and dominate. When you go out and put out a performance like that, that tells Kevin O'Sullivan that you are not ready for the moment yet. So that is unfortunate for Luke McNeely. You never wanted to see that. The good spot in this game, Luke Heyman and Ty Evans continued some good hot streaks at the plate, both hitting home runs on the night. But 10 total men left on base and 11 strikeouts total from the Gators in this game. Just did not go very well. Gary, you got any thoughts on that? Because again, I know we were talking about Luke during this game, that really rough start he had.
Bro, the pitching. Like, I don't really know why we let it go on for so long. I don't know if it was because Sully thought potentially he was gonna, flip the switch and start, really cooking. But I think it was after he plucked that second dude with the ball. That's when I was like, all right, bro. Like, you've plucked one guy, you've already given up 2 or 3 runs so far, and you pluck another one. It's like, come on. Like, after you walk 2 people and give up those bombs, like, your brain is probably like in a blender. So like, there's like, this is like a crazy thought I always thought about baseball. It's like when you're pitching, like, you're really in control of the game. So like, if you start losing your control and you're getting like anxious because you're doing the starting role and you're fucking sucking at it, I could only imagine how difficult it is to like come back from that. So, better luck next time, bud, but we definitely have better people we could be starting over him.
Yeah, I agree with you. And especially him being a freshman, to be in that position where you're getting rattled in the first inning. You don't know how much confidence that kid probably lost in that first inning. And you have to just recognize that as a coach at that point, like he is not built for the moment right now. There's a lot going on in his head right now. He's just maybe not mature enough to be able to handle that and bounce back in a way that he could have come back a lot stronger. So totally agree with you, Gare. Tough loss there for the Gators to start out the week, but they come right back the next night at home against Bethune-Cookman and get a nice 9-2 win in the midweek. It was pretty much a bullpen committee night. It consisted of Fisher Jameson, freshman Robert Satin, freshman Riley Whitmer, freshman Alex Philpott that we've talked about a bunch, and Blake Purnell had an inning in there as well. So a really great night from the bullpen, kind of combining to help the Gators out there. And they jumped out really quickly to a 4-0 lead. A wild pitch scored a run, and then Colby Shelton jacked a 3-run home run. This guy from Alabama. This transfer has been ridiculous. We will talk about him upcoming with this Miami series, but man, this kid has some damn power. And he is not by any means the biggest kid on the team. He's not the tallest. He ain't the strongest, but boy, can this kid hit. I don't know what it is about him, but I love what this kid does at the plate. He has been awesome to watch. I love this kid hopefully being a cornerstone shortstop piece for us for a long time. Just really, really exciting to see him continuing to hit jacks and being really hot at the plate. Tyler Shelnut, he has been a really, really deep part of this lineup as well. He had 2 RBIs from a solo bomb and a double that night. And then, of course, our boy, Jack Caglione. What else does he do but launch a 3-run home run that night? We're going to talk a lot about him with this Miami weekend, which we won. Thank you. A series win against Miami going down to Coral Gables this weekend. A very, very heated series, I will say. Miami and Florida, man, if you watched any bits of these games over the weekend, they were chirping at each other left and right. This was incredibly heated. This is a rivalry that gets the blood pumping every single year. And honestly, the Gators got it started out with a fantastic 7-3 win on Friday night. A lot of timely hitting and solid pitching all night long. Cade Fisher came out. He had a decent start. He went four and 2/3 innings, 3 earned runs and 5 Ks. Not bad at all, but Slater and Neely coming in out of the bullpen, they combined 4 1/3 inning of work, only gave up 2 hits combined and 5 Ks. They really shut down the Canes after those 3 earned runs by Fisher early. But as far as the offense, Cade Curlin, Jack Caglione, both had 3 hit nights, both of them with a homer as well. Again, that timely hitting, the Gators were just able to get it rolling Friday night. Unfortunately, Saturday came out, took a 10-6 L. Liam Peterson, the highly touted freshman on the mound, just did not have his stuff early. He gave up 2 home runs very quickly in the first 2 innings. His command was very off. It was a very quick 5-0 hole for the Gators. He did settle in the next 3 innings and looked really, really good, getting a few strikeouts. And Dale Thomas hit a really nice 3-run home run to get us right back in that game. But Luke McNeely, again, man, he came in from the bullpen and he blew it again. I hate to say it. Like he came back 5-3 deficit. Gators were looking good, making a nice comeback. And then boom, just like that, 4 runs for Miami. They're back up 9-3. Luke McNeely got rocked again. And there's just another situation where he came in and just got rattled. And I like the kid. I like what he was able to do in high school. I liked that just the prospect of him coming to the Gators was very, very exciting. This could have been a kid that could have been drafted into the MLB, gone into rookie level ball, decided to come to college and just hasn't had a great start so far. It's really tough. I get it. Just being a freshman, just the trials and tribulations of going through it. Had a rough one against a really, really tough opponent. And that just added to that 10-6 loss. The Gators just couldn't play enough catch-up offense at the end of that game to be able to come out with a win there. But on Sunday, they drive the series home, baby. And let me tell you, Jack Caglione had a damn day. I watched every single minute of this game, and he dominated the entire thing. Started on the mound, went 6 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 11 Ks. He was nasty against the Canes. The fastball, the changeup, the breaking balls, everything was working for him on the mound. Not only that, he had a 3-hit day along with one of probably the most towering shots I've ever seen him hit down the right field line. If it weren't for that parking garage out there behind the field in right field in Coral Gables, that ball might have gone 500 feet. He absolutely obliterated that ball. Did everything that the Gators needed on the mound and at the plate. I mean, what a damn day for him. He dominated Miami. And last year, he did the same damn thing. He's prolific in offense and on the mound against Miami. I don't know what it is, but he's got those boys' numbers. And it's helped him out a lot being on the mound. He was up with a lead early. Colby Shelton, Ty Evans, Tyler Shelnut, they all hit really big bombs early, put the Gators up 4-0, and Cags was just cruising from there. Shelton, though, he homered again in the 9th. This kid had 2 home runs against Miami in this Sunday game. I'm telling you, he is a damn stud. He hits it the opposite field. He pulls the ball. He hits it right up the middle. This kid just knows how to approach hitting at the plate, and he is so exciting. One of the cornerstone pieces of this lineup. He is going to be a fantastic player for the Gators, hopefully for a few years. We're really, really excited to have this kid in there. But one of the biggest things I did want to talk about from this game, and I wanted to get you both of your opinions on this, Tyler Shelnut hit a towering bomb to left field. Carried his bat a little bit down the first base line and flipped that bitch. Probably 9 out of 10 on the bat flip scale. Looked amazing. Came around, as soon as he touched home plate, threw him out of the game. Ejected him. Gone. Because of the bat flip. So what do we think about the bat flip at the college level, the injections that come with it? I mean, baseball, we have seen over the years, has been the sport, I think, that lacks the most emotion. And now we're seeing it at the college level becoming a lot more emotional because all these kids are so damn into everything. And it's so much fun to be able to compete at this level. But you really going to eject a kid for bat flipping? Come on now. In a rivalry game? Come on now. What are our thoughts?
First of all, false. The least emotional game, as I just said.
Oh, fuck off,
golf.
Mondo. Fuck you.
Oh, here we go.
It's golf.
Okay, least emotional out of the four major sports. Four major sports. There we go. We'll clarify that right now.
Fucking
Secondly,
shit.
bro, I was the guy throughout my whole baseball career. I would pimp a fly out, a single, a double. I didn't really do triples. Homers, like I would pimp the fuck out of everything. This ump is straight up a pussy. Like, get over yourself. You are not that important to the game. You will eventually be replaced by a robot. The reason you are not at the MLB level is because you make it all about yourself. Get the fuck up out of here. Let us bat flip. Let us have fun. It's some bullshit.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Gare, anything from me, brother?
Yeah, that's soft, bro. Come on, like tighten
Yeah.
up. I mean, like, it's really you're just celebrating, bro. Like, be happy. It's competition. Like, that's what you love to see. You love to see the emotion. You love to see somebody flip a bat and then that motherfucker on the other side gets pissed off and then he comes back and pimps another one and flips it right back in your face. Like,
Yeah.
that's the love of the game. That's the love of sport. Sport doesn't exist for, any other reason other than competition, whether you're competing against yourself or competing against others. Like, so, be expressive about how you feel, and like that should learn to just be not as expressive on how he feels, like, because he feels the wrong way.
Yeah.
Dumb as shit.
Gare, absolutely well put. I think that was very well spoken. Let the emotion show in these games. Let the kids play, as they say. But to wrap up the Florida weekend, fantastic for them to get a series win at Miami. Kevin O'Sullivan has absolutely dominated Miami over his tenure at Florida. And now the Gators come home for a week-long stretch of baseball. In the midweek, they have FAU on Tuesday and UCF on Wednesday. And then they'll be playing St. Mary's at home for, I think, their last non-conference series of the year. After this, we will start getting into a lot of SEC play on the weekends. That is going to be really, really exciting because, holy hell, there is some talent out here in the SEC. There is going to be some great matchups all season long. Going to be very, very exciting to watch. But other than that, I just wanted to touch on some hot teams right now in college baseball before we end this segment, because, man, there's a lot of stuff that happened this weekend. We could go over everything. We could make this like an hour and a half long. I could talk about this shit forever. But we're just going to keep it simple for right now. The hottest teams, I think, right now in college baseball, I'm going to give you 4. Last episode, I gave you the 4 teams to fade because they have been playing like ass. But these teams, boy, do not fade these teams anytime soon. First one is Dallas Baptist University. I don't think anybody knows anything about this team right now, but they're 10-1, ranked 20th this week. These guys are absolutely hitting nukes. They're averaging 9.6 runs per game. They just beat number 15 Alabama in extras last night. They are a very, very fun team to watch. Definitely keep them on your radar as they're in the rankings this week. Number 7, Texas A&M, undefeated at 11-0. They've played a simple non-conference schedule so far, but they're running through it, scoring a ton of runs. The pitching looks great. And they are actually coming to Gainesville March 15th through 17th. That is going to be a spectacular series between the Gators and the Aggies. Number 5, TCU, 12-0. These boys refuse to lose. I think I saw something on Twitter earlier today that they have played in either like 4 or 5 games where their win probability got as low as 10%. And one game against FGCU, their win probability was under 1%. And as I just stated, they are 12-0. These guys are apparently allergic to losing. They have come back in more ways than I can count. They are just a very, very resilient team.
Pause.
And to be up as high as what's that?
Nothing.
You
To be up as high as number 5. I mean, I'm telling you, TCU, they are rolling right now. Damn good team. And then I talked about them a little bit last week, but 10-0 right now, Florida State. 7+ runs in every game so far. They're batting .367 as a team. The pitching has been nails between their guy, Jamie Arnold, who has been a fantastic Saturday starter for them, and Cam Leader, who's a transfer from UCF, who's absolutely been lighting it up on the radar gun. They have a lot of stuff working for them right now. So that is going to be very, very interesting to watch them. They are still not ranked, but I think that they will be very soon, because from year 1 under Link Jarrett to year 2 this year, they have come a long, long way and have been playing some damn good baseball so far. So keep FSU on the radar as well. Just some of the hot teams I wanted to go over, but I'm going to leave you with this. If you don't follow us on the Unbettable Twitter, every damn week and I am putting out college baseball picks. I'm telling you, man, I was looking at the record. Let me pull up the record right now. Let me pull up the record, boys.
Let the people know, Holmes. What did it say?
Boys, we're 14-11 right now in parlays. I have taken 2 straight plays in college baseball so far. We are 14-11 in parlays. Okay, you know how hard that is to do, to go 14-11 in parlays. We're going to keep trying to put them together, keep trying to give you winners. God damn it, I love college baseball. I'm going to keep riding, giving you boys the picks, because we love this shit. So we got to keep it hot, boy.
He's staying hot. Speaking of hot,
come on.
What are the picks we got tonight? Holmes, take it away.
Shit, bro. I'm about to disappoint you, because I only got 1 pick so far tonight. But again, follow us on the Unbettable Twitter, because I promise I will have some more picks dropping before game time tonight. The only one that I do have locked in right now is the Kings -7 tonight against the Bulls. The Kings are at home. They've been playing very, very well recently, and the opposite can be said for Chicago, which is an ass team. They're even worse on the road. We're going to take the Kings to cover tonight at home. I will have some more plays on the Twitter later tonight.
Sir Gareth Gouderson, what do we have on the docket today?
Yeah, me and Holmes spoke earlier, and I'm gonna keep up with the turning $1 to 100. And yeah, I'm just tagging along with Holmes. I'm hanging by his coattail for tonight.
Let's do it, brother.
All right. I love it. Now, over to me. You already know I got the NBA plays that make you shake in your seat. We got SGA over 30.5 points. The guy has had over 30 in 4 of the last 5, and I mean over 30. That is fucking insane. Heavy up on this bet. We got John Collins over 9.5 rebounds. Someone's got to get down low for that team. It's going to be that man. DeRozan over 31.5 PRA. Over. The man is missing a lot of weapons. He's got to take it upon himself to run it up. Marvin Bagley, a personal favorite sleeper on the year for me, especially fantasy-wise. Over 20.5 points plus rebounds. Cameron Johnson, the sneaky man. He's got all this going. Well, you know what he doesn't have tonight? He won't have over 16.5 points. That's right. We are hammering the under for Mr. Cameron Johnson. Those are my plays of the night. 5 for you. 5 winners. There you go. Enjoy.
I love it.
Gary, make sure you tweet those bitches out. All right. Now, we got a graphic to talk about, don't we? Today's graphic in honor of the man that dropped 40K this weekend. We got the greatest player in NBA history. Now, this is pretty open floor. We can talk accolades. We can talk longevity. We can talk this. We can talk that. Here's the list of names we got to work with, though. LeBron, MJ, Kareem, Magic, Bird, Kobe, Shaq, Tim Duncan, Bill Russell, and Wilt. That's the squad we are working with today. So, I'm going to be bold because, I like to cause controversy out here on the Twitter sphere. We're going to put LeBron number one. Longevity is undefeated. The man has literally averaged, if you take a look at his points, over 24 and a half points average over 20 years. Nobody has ever done that. Do I believe he's the GOAT? Hell no. It's always MJ. But I like controversy. So I'm going to put LeBron number one. How we feeling about that?
Listen, man, this is like one of the toughest debates in the history of the NBA. As noted, I am not the world's biggest NBA fan. But however, I love me some Last Dance. God damn, I love that documentary. And that gave me a whole different perspective on Michael Jordan. Because to go 6-0 in finals, to three-peat twice, to have all of the accolades that he had in scoring, all-star games, defensively, I mean, that guy was just a force on the court at all times. Everybody was afraid of that man. He was so dangerous. And just I will always, I think, regard MJ as the greatest player, but it's not hard to see how LeBron can be fit into that conversation, especially now with just getting 40,000 points, averaging a triple double for his career. I mean, LeBron James, with all the hype that he came into in the league when he was 18 years old, he has well surpassed all of that. I mean, the expectations were through the roof for this guy, and he has blown all of them out of the water. So I think that speaks a lot to how much he has been able to do in such a long period of time, because his longevity is pretty incredible in this sport, I have to say.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Michael Jordan just because of everything that was stated before me, but also because he loves gambling, and this is a gambling podcast. So I think it's right that we put MJ at number one. But like Mondo said, causing controversy does increase engagement, so I'll rock with him for that. But I think if we're gonna go LeBron one, then it's only right that we go MJ two. Is that fair?
Yes.
And then I'm gonna lead the conversation for the next one. But I'm not gonna do it based on stats because I don't got it like that. I ain't afraid to show it. But number three, I am going to go with Kobe Bryant. Sheerly because of course he's one of the best to ever do it, but his impact on the game, I think, is one that surpasses a lot of the people that can be considered for the best player of all time conversation. Of course, that did come with his untimely passing, but I think that it just goes to show, like, athletes like that, you never know when they could drop. Um, and I think he's inspired the youth to like really want to get into basketball. Like just something, like that puts his name out and everybody talked about it whenever it happened. It was like, people were crying and shit. And these are people that have never even met the guy, but they just loved him because of how he showed his love for basketball. So I think he should go number three.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to go Kareem. Holmes?
I don't have much to say, honestly. I think I'm kind of on the same wavelength as you, Gare, with how much he was able to just influence the game and be a very big figurehead in the NBA for a long time. And I think the transformation from him coming into the league as kind of like this very selfish, me type of guy, like I'm going to win. It doesn't really matter about the team, and kind of over the years, kind of conforming into that team player. And I think one of the biggest things for me that I always think about is him being on the Redeem team for Team USA. When they went to the Olympics and won the gold medal. I love watching that documentary as well, because that shows me a lot about what Kobe was able to come in and do with all of these star players around him. He brought a different energy, he brought a different intensity. And I think that summer really like kind of got him more into like that team spirit almost, because he's around all these guys that are all great individual players, but they need to be able to play as a team in this international stage to be able to also compete against some of the greatest players from around the world. So I do think he was a very, very big part in that specifically, but it's I love Kobe. Like his impact on the game was amazing. I love the guy. I think he was just such a great player, a great person. He's done a ton for the game of basketball and just a ton outside of the game of basketball as well. So I'll leave it at that.
Well, I don't necessarily agree. He's number 3. I'll put him there because you two do. I do think Kareem and MJ, or not MJ, but Magic, need to round out your top 5.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
I agree. And I think for me, it's tougher for me because again, not being the biggest NBA fan, I don't know a whole lot about like Kareem's history or even Magic's history. Even Bill Russell or Wilt Chamberlain. Like, you know what I know about Wilt? He allegedly scored 100 points one time. You know what I know about Bill Russell? He has tons of championships. Like that's kind of as far as I know about these guys. So my opinion is really not that strong.
And that's what's going to create engagement.
Yeah,
At the end of the day, that's what it's going to do.
fair.
As someone who is a little more in depth with the NBA, personally, I would go in the next trio would be Duncan, Bird, and Shaq.
I
That would
was
be mine.
thinking, I was thinking either Shaq or Bird next because I mean, Shaq, like, bro, he's an icon. He's done it all, and he's also won championships with multiple teams. He was with the Magic when they won their championship, correct?
I think
Yeah, I
so.
don't believe that. I don't believe they won a championship. I
No,
don't. I think he went to the finals, but he
he
didn't
went
ultimately win a championship.
Lakers. He won with and
Lakers and Heat.
he
I thought that they won with Magic
no,
Johnson and all them. That was,
with Magic.
bro, he was playing with,
Oh no, no, no! Like on the Lakers, he won with Kobe. It was him and Kobe. When he was with the Orlando Magic, he
bro,
went
who
as
was
far as the
on that
finals.
Magic
He
team? Who was on that Magic team?
Penny.
not enough
Penny
around him to be able to
Hardaway.
help him out. I can try and look that up for you right now. You guys take it over. I'm gonna look at that Magic roster.
Okay. I get that you like Shaq. Tim Duncan has just overall better career with one team. I believe he has more rings. The dude is a fashion icon and he's an overall great person. He had no controversy around him. So that's why I'd put Duncan ahead of Shaq.
Yeah, no, I just looked it up. Okay, I was wrong. My bad.
He did. I will say, Shaq. He had Penny Hardaway on that Magic team, but they weren't just able to get it clicking. Penny Hardaway wasn't able to stay healthy, and that caused, I think, a lot of problems because him and Shaq were never really able to just be on the floor at the same time and do what everybody thought they could be together. Eventually, Shaq won it out, went to the Lakers, and teamed up with Kobe. Won some championships, goes to the Heat, wins a championship with D Wade. I mean, yeah, he's just to me, Shaq, one of the most dominant players to ever play the game. I mean,
Mhm.
I could just imagine myself being 6'8", 280. I'd be afraid to guard Shaq. I don't know how anybody in the league like wasn't afraid of that. And who knows, maybe they all might have been. But that guy is so like dominant on the court. I just think he is just such a powerful ass player. That's really all I can say about him.
He's enormous.
Yeah, he was able to do so much with such a big, strong body. He was incredibly talented, incredibly like agile for how big he was. He's just a dominant force on the floor at all times.
Okay. I will put Shaq next. I think it should go Tim Duncan and then Larry Bird after that.
Okay.
Duncan has better stats, more rings than Bird.
Yeah, that's fair.
Now the two guys that I just kind of added to this list because literally of what you said, Holmes, that is Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain. We could easily have Steph Curry on here. I mean, you guys talk about Kobe changing the game. Nobody has changed the game more than Steph Curry has.
Yep.
Straight up.
Yep.
The guy revolutionized a 3-pointer, but he's not currently on the list. We could replace one of these guys with him. It's up to you.
Well,
No, yeah, we should probably keep the guys that we have. But again, just from my perspective, there's not too much that I can say on these guys. I have very limited knowledge on these players. Again, I know Bill Russell has the most championships in NBA history. Wilt scored 100 points. Like nobody's ever done that in a game before. I mean, there's great things that you can say about both of the players, but not enough for me to justify anything because of my poor
Wilt
knowledge.
bagged birds. Wilt was averaging like 4 chicks a night. I shit you not.
Yeah, no, that I've heard about that. His game was crazy. Like if
The
you know what I mean.
man was a legend
Yeah,
on and off the court,
yeah,
but
no,
that
that
doesn't
game was crazy.
outweigh 11 rings. It
Yeah,
doesn't,
sure.
but it gets him in the top 10 in my eyes. Gets him in the top 10.
Fair point.
All right, to run down the list: LeBron, MJ, Kobe, Kareem, Magic, Shaq, Tim Duncan, Larry Bird, Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain.
Not bad. I am sure we will get some engagement on this shit.
I sure as shit hope so, because this is an interesting list. So we'll see what happens.
Ball Nars and me.
But if you guys enjoyed this episode, please make sure to like, subscribe, share with everyone you know. We have been growing and growing and growing. Help us keep growing and growing and growing. Interact with the graphic on Twitter. Let us know how fucking stupid we are. We'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace.